Hello, welcome to Holistic Within. By the end of this video, you will learn what muscle testing is, how you can do it to test yourself and to test other people, and you will also know what you can use it for. Trust me, if you develop this art form of muscle testing, you can talk to your subconscious mind, you can know the things, the beliefs that are blocking you from doing the things that you want to do, or from not doing the things that you want to do. It might help you to lose weight if that's one of the things that you're trying to do, to just get to know yourself better. If it's a health issue, if it's like an allergy, a food that you want to test to see if it's good for you or not, essential oils that you might need for a certain type of thing or another. Anyway, it can be used in multiple settings. The possibilities are endless, and muscle testing well done, it is an invaluable tool. It really can change your life. So anyway, let's get to it. What is muscle testing? Basically, it starts from the idea that the body is always responding to the mind, but the thing is, it's for the most part is responding to the subconscious mind. So if I consciously want to move my arm, I do it. But for the most part, it's the subconscious mind that for some reason it has some programs that dictate how the body is going to respond, how my thoughts are going to be created, and how I'm going to react to things and whatnot. So the power of the subconscious mind is so big compared to the conscious mind. And that's why we struggle so much. You know, I'm gonna lose weight, and I'm gonna wake up tomorrow at 6 in the morning and I'm gonna run for half an hour. Next day, alarm goes off, and it's like it's somebody else in your mind trying to give you the instructions, the options. You know, at 6 in the morning, alarm goes off. You're like, no, I'm too tired. Where is that part of yourself that said, yes, I'm gonna go out and run, or I'm going to the gym for 2 hours, or whatever, you know, food or anything. Where is that part of myself? Where does it go to? And who is this part of me that it's like the polar opposite? So anyway, muscle testing can help you to learn more about who you are and why you do the things that you do, and what you can do to make your life better. The first example that I want to give you is testing the largest muscle that we have. You basically will try to push down with your right hand, your right leg. You will try to push it down. At the same time, you will resist with your leg the strength of the hand, and as hard as you try to push down, as much strength that you will use to keep it in the same spot. And that is a way to test the strength of one muscle. And for example, I'm testing and I feel the strength, and I start to say a word, for example, or a question. In this example, I want to use the word love. I say the word love, and it creates a positive image in my mind. So I say love, and I test, and I feel the strength of the muscle. I feel it. If I change the word love for the word hate, it creates dissonance in my subconscious mind, and I test love is strong, and then I say hate, 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 and immediately I can feel how the muscle loses its strength. It's like the line of fuel that is feeding my muscle, or the instruction from the mind to tell the muscle to stay put. It gets weakened. You feel a difference, and you can use any muscle that you have in the body to do muscle testing. There is always a biological response to an emotional stress, and whatever creates a stress in my mind, it's because either I have a problem with it, maybe poses risk, or it can just be a positive response or a negative response. Muscle testing is like a binary way of talking to your subconscious. It's like a yes and no, yes and no, yes and no way of talking to your subconscious. One way that we can do to test a second person is by having them extend an arm and you push down on that arm and you ask a question. For example, let me bring my wife for this. Honey, can you? Thank you. So I'm gonna show you with her arm. I ask her to put her arm as tense as possible to resist my my force as much as she can. I test how much strength she has, and in this example, I would ask her to say the word yes.
Yes.
Yes, and I test strong. Now say no.
No.
No. I immediately feel a difference, a big difference. Thank you, honey. The muscle, the mind responds in a very different way when it's a yes or if it's a no. The muscle gets weakened, and I feel that. So if you're gonna test, let's say you are trying to find which vitamin you need, or which mineral or which essential oil is gonna work best for your anxiety or for whatever you're trying to do, and you can test yourself or others to see which exact thing is the one that the body needs. And you can use it for, like, for example, subconscious programming. Let's say I have a program that makes me nervous when I'm going to drive in the rain. Well, maybe I have a subconscious program because when I was a kid I heard that such and such got in a tragic accident because it was raining and they blamed the rain. And now my subconscious mind is like rain equals death, and I don't know that because I was, I don't know, let's say 3 years old or 4 or 5 years old when I heard that. My conscious mind is not aware of that, but my subconscious mind is aware of that, and now I fear. You know, I'm driving, there's rain, anyway, it happens, and so now I find out why, and now I'm able to work with my subconscious mind and reprocess that information, transcend it, and basically create the belief that I need. So anyway, you can apply for a lot of things: food, allergies, vitamins, minerals, essential oils, thoughts, ideas, beliefs, subconscious beliefs. Of course, there are some things that are very easy to change or to do. If I'm going to test myself for a certain type of oil, let's say I want to relax myself right now because I'm going to take a bath, and I say, okay, right now, which oil is the one that is going to help me relax the most? That's easy. The body will respond. This one yes, that one no, etc. Things like subconscious programming, it's a lot harder because now if you're self-testing, the subconscious mind is going to get in the way. And for these, I have to tell you that the response when you're doing testing, it's not always 100% accurate, especially if you're doing self-testing, because the mind gets in the way. And let's say, for example, if I'm going to test myself for 3 different options of vitamin, and I'm in the store and I wanted to know which one is the one that will help me the most. And one cost 120, one cost 80, and one cost 40. Now, if I have the subconscious belief that whoever pays more for the same thing is not smart, it's, you know, they're tricking him, or my subconscious mind will probably tell me that the one I need is the one that costs $40, because I have a belief that will give me the wrong answer, even if the one that I really needed was the one that cost 80 or 120. So that is why it's tricky, and you cannot always rely on the answer of your subconscious, because it can trick you. It can tell you the wrong thing just because it wants to protect itself, or just because it has a program that requires the subconscious to give you that information. So that is one of the reasons why when we use that technique, we have to be careful who is actually doing the test on us. If when I have a patient and I'm going to do a test, I really don't have any any subconscious program that it has an interest on the outcome of the response, because it's a third party. If I'm going to test which oil is best for one thing or another, or if I'm going to test which vitamin the body needs, my mind doesn't have a need of being in the way of that. It will just give an answer. But anyway, there's a lot of ways to do testing. One is, like I said, the leg thing. The other one is the arm. There is one where you can push one finger with the other, and you ask for a positive response, and you feel the strength and how it holds up, and then you ask for a no, and you feel how it loses its strength. It's basically just noticing a change in your biology when you ask a certain question, or when you say a certain word, or when you are looking at a certain type of food or vitamin or anything. There's more ways. One is, I think it's called a pendulum, where you basically stand with your feet together, you close your eyes, and then you request a positive response. In my case, I swing back and forth. So if I stand like this and I say, I immediately start to swing front and back, front and back. And if I ask my subconscious mind to give me a no or a negative response, my body usually starts to swing left and right, left and right. That is it's very easy on the muscles. You don't get tired because you're not actually testing a strength. But it's very slow. If you're gonna ask a series of questions, like for example, when we see clients here, we have different maps. Depending if the treatment is for neuropsychology, or if it's for like life coaching, or if it's more in the health area, we have different maps with hundreds and hundreds of options. In one of the maps for health, we have over 1,000 things to look for. So if I'm going to look for over 1,000 things with this method, it's just not going to be efficient. What else? There is one that there's one that where the right hemisphere of the body it tends down, it shrinks. So if I do this and I request, give me a positive answer, right there, you can see the right side, my right side, it shrunk down about I want to say 1/4 of an inch. I can do it with the whole hand. I can do it with 2 fingers. I can do it with my thumbs. This is a very obvious one. So right now you can see they're pretty much lined up, and give me a yes. Let me see. Immediately the right side shrinks, and that's about 1/2 inch or more, and that will be a positive response in my body. With you, it might be the left side, or it might not work because the hand has not learned to shrink when there is a stress response. What else? There is one that some practitioners use. They do a circle here, and they try to break free these fingers. So they push it out, and a positive response, it's either cannot go out or it goes out. So for example, give me a yes, let me see, and it's strong, that means no. And immediately I feel where this loses grip and the finger goes out. And that is a subconscious response where the muscle loses its strength. Now, some testing is a lot more, it's a lot easier to influence with the conscious mind. Some people with this, they say, well, my conscious mind can play a role in the answer because I have a lot of control over the strength of these fingers. And some people say, well, no, the response for the most part is truth. It's true with me, and the same for all those different styles. I know some people that they trust a lot this response. I personally like it, but I don't trust it 100%. So I came out with my own I developed a tapping that it tells me a positive or a negative response. I use these two fingers and I basically tap them. I tap, 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 tap both fingers, and I measure the point where I'm actually tapping. So when I ask for a positive response, this one gets tense and it goes down, and this one gets tense and it goes up. So if I'm tapping here, I end up with a positive response. I end up tapping over here. So for example, let me know, let me see, and immediately they both shrink, but one goes that way and one goes this way, and I feel I end up tapping from here, I move to here. That's my way. I found that one out one day when I was driving and I couldn't use two hands, and I figured, well, let me do something that does not require a strength, one that it will not make me tired, and one that it could be fast and discreet. So for example, if I'm in the store and I need to find out which thing to buy, which mineral is the one that I need, and I see this display, and I'm not gonna be like, see it, vitamin A, B, C, it's just, people, it's not good. But I can do this, and I can talk to my subconscious mind and basically find out if indeed I need more vitamin B than C, or vice versa, or anything. It can even be about I don't know, drinks, water. Is this water better for me? Is this one in coherence with my body? With time, you learn to ask questions in a way that the subconscious mind can give you truthful answers. It is a process. It is an art form. You have to develop your own art form. You have to learn your own body and learn your own muscles and how they respond. But anyway, it is once it's developed correctly, and if your conscious and subconscious mind don't get in the way of the answers and they just tell you the truth, your subconscious mind holds a lot more information than the conscious mind does. Your subconscious mind, like for example, right now my conscious mind is only thinking about the camera, and that's it. That's the only thing that I can think of what I'm gonna say next. By my subconscious mind, it's actually taking information from everywhere: the music in the background, the lighting, the temperature, the wind, the lighting, everything. And that is because the subconscious mind has one job, and its job is to keep me safe, and therefore it's taking a lot more information in to make sure that I am safe, and that information is actually saved. We see in practice, we see that some clients, they have some information saved from decades. This is emotional information that it's blocking them. It blocks them to achieve one thing or another, or it blocks them to do the right diet, anything. So that information is stored in the subconscious mind. It actually is stored, I believe, everywhere in the body, because cells, DNA has a history file, and what we learn, it actually gets engraved in our DNA, and that we become, those instructions that we have. But there is a way to clear them out. There is a way to transcend who we are, and there is a fascinating and impressively efficient way to become who we want to become. Anyway, muscle testing. Going back, we talked about all the options. I think there is probably more that I'm forgetting right now. But so last thing that I want to tell you is that because muscle testing can be sometimes cannot be very reliable, in our therapy we do different kinds of muscle testing, but we also have a mechanic or physical way of not talking to the subconscious mind just in case he wants to trick us, but talking to the actual body, talking to the actual bioelectric body, and that is using magnets, an actual magnet. When I have a meridian that it's blocked, when I have points of resonance in my body that are not in resonance, that are in dissonance, that are basically polarized, I can use a magnet. And with a magnet, we can find those points. And the great thing about the basic or the mechanical way of testing is that the subconscious mind does not play a role when I'm scanning with a magnet. Because I place a magnet on the person, on the part that it's blocked, and the body will react. There is no two ways about it. Even if the subconscious mind has a problem, let's say, let's say I have some type of illness that my subconscious mind loves it because I get attention. I get attention from my wife, from my kids, from my grandkids, and everybody gets around me because I am the one that I cannot do that or walk, or I'm the sick one. So I get attention, and my subconscious mind, even though I consciously want to get better, my subconscious mind says no, because you get all this attention that you never had before. So if I were to muscle test that person, maybe the subconscious mind will block the answer, will give me a wrong answer because it's trying to block the healing. So what do we do then? That's when the manual or the mechanical way of testing comes into play, because with this way of testing, of scanning the body for electrical misfunctions, the body responds. One way or another, the body will respond. I will see a response in the muscles. For the most part, we work, if you come to for a treatment before, you know that we work with the feet a lot. And you are laying in bed, and we are taking the length of your feet while placing magnets in different key points to see an actual biological response. And that way your subconscious mind is out of the picture. It doesn't matter if the subconscious wants or doesn't want to get better, we will find the points. What happens is that let's say I have a meridian that goes from here down to here and down there. Okay, so I have 2 points that are blocked. One here and one here. Okay, so when I place the magnet with the negative side on the point that it's actually blocked, let's say it's right here, I place it, this whole half of the body will go into stress mode, will shrink. And we see that with the length of the feet. We check for length differences, and when I place the magnet on the right spot, for the most part is the right side will shrink, and I'm able to see that. Sometimes it's only about 1/8 or a quarter of an inch. Sometimes it's 1.5 inches. It depends on the point that I'm hitting, the point that I just found, how blocked it is, the willingness of the body to respond to that bioelectric short, if you will. And anyway, that is the mechanical way. That is the actual physical point by point way of testing. It takes a lot more time, but it is very, very truthful. You find the points regardless of the mind. Now, of course, after the treatment, the subconscious still plays a role in whether it's going to make the healing faster or not, and what else. But we'll talk about that later. But that is the mechanical way, the physical way. It usually depending on what you're looking for, but it can take a while. It can be half an hour. It can be one hour. It just depends. But that's why we use both. We use the bioenergy scan, we use the biomagnetic scan. We use both at the same time. One and the other, they back each other up, and that way we get a much better result. I think that is it for testing. I think I'm forgetting something, I'm not sure, but anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Bye.